We are live, and I will be playing my interlude. And once I do that, I will be coming back with our special guest. Technology is up. Oh, where we at? We are live. Okay. Anyway, y'all. Okay. Here we go.
That's right. We're on live. We're gonna get this thing done one way or another. What's up to y'all? What's up to y'all?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I want to make sure all the screens are straight. I want to share screen. Okay. Welcome to Third Eye Visions, y'all. Yes, we are live. It's been a while. I've been under the weather, and I'm just getting over a little cold. But anyway, we're gonna continue with the show. My name is Anthony Parker, and you are tuning into Third Eye Visions, where we motivate the blind. That's right. Stimulate your mind and welcome all kind. My name is Anthony, and I want you to please hit the notification bell because I know you are viewing this. I know this. And those people after me or after this live, make sure to do the same because you're going to be missing out on some very, very important information. Also, make sure to share, like, comment, and all that good stuff. Today's topic, slowly becoming blind and afraid. I am going to be speaking with Tracey, and she will be talking about just that. Now, if you will have any questions during this live or any suggestions that can help her transition become a bit easier, put them in the comments. Okay? Please do that. Now, without no more delay, and I hope y'all enjoyed the music in the background because it has been provided to you by SOB Music, and it's called No Time. So with that being said, because Tracy had to get all that out of the way, how you doing?
I'm doing great. You?
I'm doing okay. Tracy, I want to say that it is a pleasure to have you on Third Eye Visions, and you have a ball of information for us and what have you. But before we do all that, why don't you tell everybody where you're from?
I am from a little town called Echo, Louisiana, which is between Alexandria and Marksville.
Okay. How long you been living there? For some time now?
Oh, I was born and raised across the river and somehow swam across and been here ever since. So, travel the world, but always come back home.
Oh, you swam? You say you swam across?
Oh, yeah. I actually grew
Okay.
up on the other side of the river and ended up on this side.
Okay. Can you speak up a little bit for us?
Can you hear me better?
Gotcha. That's much better. I can tell by your accent that you're definitely from down south. You enjoy down south?
Born, bred, and raised. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, for
Love it
real?
here.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself before we jump into the title, which is what I had stated earlier, and the title again is called "Slowly Becoming Blind and Afraid." Tell us a little bit about yourself in terms of what do you do and things like that.
Well, I'm 46 years old.
Don't
I'm a
sound like
mother
it.
of two wonderful children, a 24-year-old and a 26-year-old. And I'm actually a grandmother of a 4 and a 5-year-old.
Okay.
And pretty much I grew up, doing all kind of sorts of things, but my specialty is working in the carpentry world. My dad was a carpenter for a major company, and that's kind of what led me into wanting to do that. So I grew up doing carpentry work, which, now I'm just not able to do it, but still do side work.
Okay. You said now if I'm a little delayed with you, that's because I am also doing some uh commenting. There's people commenting in the lives and things like that. Pamela said, "How you doing?" That's one of my favorite.
Hello.
She has a hair channel, and it's called Naturally Beauty, Naturally You. So what's up, Pam? And as I mentioned, if Pamela or if y'all sighted people have any questions for her, y'all let her know or let me know. I'll put them in the comments. So tell us about your journey. You said you're slowly going blind, and
Yes.
you're a bit apprehensive about it. First of all,
Right.
just talk to us about the your eye condition, or whatever.
Well, basically, about 20 years ago, when I was 26 years old, I had went in for eye laser surgery. I had done paid for my cataract surgery and everything. And when I went in there, I was pulled to the side room and basically told they could not do the surgery because I was going blind. Instantly, tears filled my eyes, but I was like, oh, they don't know what they're talking about. So it kind of sped up my process to live out my life the way I wanted to and started traveling the world, just ignoring the fact that, it was a potential possibility. And later on, I guess about a year and a half ago, I started noticing some big changes, which let me back up and say, since I had found out, I had always seen an eye disease specialist. Basically, my diagnosis is retinitis pigmentosa,
Hmm.
which is there's no cure for. But anyway, about a year and a half ago, I noticed my vision started getting worse to the point that, I was still driving, but I would only drive between the hours of 10 and 2 because the sunlight gave me a lot of problems and a lot of issues. Well, one day I was driving down the backside of the road I live on and I hit a mailbox. When I hit that mailbox that day, I knew that something wasn't right. It scared me to the point, it could have been a human body. So I went back to my eye disease specialist and told him. So he decided to do a thing where he takes pictures and noticed that the RP had took a dramatic change and started taking over. So to buy me more time, he sent me back to the eye laser clinic
Hmm.
to see if they could do a cataract surgery to try to help me out. Well, back in February of this year, I did do the first eye and I just did the second eye here 3 weeks ago.
Hmm.
So it has cleared up the center part of the vision somewhat, but I do not have any peripheral left whatsoever. And my eye doctors keep telling me, this is just a quick fix, but it's, in a matter of moments, I can wake up and just be totally blind.
Oh.
So, it's a scary thought. It's, living each day just not knowing.
And before you move forward, I want to say that what you said earlier about you once you found you were blind, you started you want to travel and see the world, and that's kind of deep because I guess you want to see it things
Yeah.
in the visual sense and whatnot. Because as a blind person, there's a big difference to actually go to Africa, go to Europe, or go just say you've been there, and as opposed to actually seeing countries and waterfalls and things like that. So that was kind of deep to me. So continue. How with the story.
Yeah, I haven't been able to travel outside of the United States. Besides, I did go to the Bahamas, but all over I've been to Alaska, Hawaii, from Canada all the way down to the south. I've touched the East Coast, the West Coast, stayed and lived in a bunch of different states, and just pretty much gave myself a bucket list.
Mm.
And I created a bucket list of things I wanted to do and accomplish before my vision went out. And I've been on that task ever since.
What are some of your bucket lists that you want? What are some of the things you put in your bucket list?
Well, one of them was I learned scuba diving. I was a licensed scuba diver, so I have been able to do that. I've been to Mount Rushmore. I've always wanted to go to Hawaii, which I lived in Hawaii for about 5 months. The mountains, just where's some other place? Cumberland Falls. Oh Lordy.
So,
all over.
you still,
Which is,
how many more things you have to do in order to complete that?
well, my biggest one right now that I really want to do and are hoping to do here soon within the next year or so is skydiving. I want to jump out of an airplane
Go for it. Definitely go
to
for
go
it.
skydiving. That is one of the things left on my bucket list. And the other one is I do want to go out of country and
Okay.
go to Jerusalem.
Oh, okay. So like once you had gotten the news and dealing with all these particular things in terms of getting your bucket list together, how were you emotionally? Because I know it had to hit you pretty hard to know that, once you were able to see, because I lost my sight a long time ago, so I'm able to deal with it. But for a person that loses their sight later on in life, it has to be a big adjustment. So explain to us how that really is.
Well, when they first told me, like I said, I was in denial. My dad actually had an army buddy he had just reconnected with.
Mhm.
And the man was blind. And when he found out, he got a buddy to travel to bring him here to Louisiana. And he talked with me. And to be honest with you, I mean, I really wasn't in the mindset that, I'm really going to go blind. So he tried to teach me a lot of things, but I just didn't want to listen to him. But I entertained him. And what time he was here, he showed me a lot of things like how to fold money, the putting dots on things. He even took me outside to train me with a cane.
Okay.
And before this man left, he left me a cane and had Braille my name on it.
Mhm.
So when I found out here in the last year and a half that the vision was going, because I had lost touch with this man. He's the only blind person I had ever met or saw in my entire life. So when I found out that, my vision now is on, is going out,
Mhm.
I kind of prayed and I told God, I was like, if this is for real and it's my time, I have to find this man.
Mhm.
So I actually started hunting him down and did run across him. I have found him now.
Mhm.
And he's kind of been helping me with the transition. But, just the thought of, my world changing, it gives me anxieties a lot.
Okay, and that's definitely going to be the next thing I want to talk about. But before I move further, you mentioned the fact that you had a cane and you used had put Braille on it. One of my friends just wanted to ask you if you do read Braille, by the way.
No, I don't have any training whatsoever. None. I don't know how to hold a cane. I don't know how to do anything. I have since January was the first time I entered the internet world and started joining groups. I literally went into this very depressed state mode where I actually did not get out of bed for 3 weeks. I
Wow.
was so far down that I was basically giving up. And
Wow.
my daughter actually told me, she said, look, Mom, you need to connect with people. Life isn't over.
That's right.
So she's the one that actually got me connected with, blind groups online.
Okay. Now hold that thought. By you going blind and the doctor telling you this, did you not want to make any preparations because you just stated that you have no mobility
No,
skills?
because I felt like making preparation was accepting the fact that it was going to happen. As long as I stayed in the denial state, it motivated me to keep going. And I just felt like my life was going to be over because I didn't know, how well that a blind person is still able to be productive in society.
You had no knowledge of seeing.
I had none. I had none. I just thought, hey, I was going to be sitting in a rocking chair in a dark room. And that's what life was going to be about. And that's what, put me there.
And that's interesting. I don't want to keep cutting you off because people are saying, let her talk, but I have to say that's interesting because with the technology and everything, you would think that, I know sighted people, they have their own little world, blah, blah, blah. But, to see like different things like that have been created for blind people, I would probably think that maybe sighted people or some sighted people have some knowledge. That's interesting.
No, because blind people, sighted people are not exposed to it. You're not, even if I would have bumped into somebody that was blind, I don't guess I would have gave it a second look.
Right.
Because you're not having to deal with it until you're having to face it. And now you're becoming one of those. That's when you start learning, what the capabilities of that person is.
Mm.
And that's when I finally started, embracing trying to figure it out. And, I hear blind people say, well, sighted people ask the dumbest questions. Well, I do ask the dumbest questions. I ask the dumbest questions because I don't know, and the only way I'm going to get an answer is to find out.
That's true.
It's not to hurt or to, sound like, I'm trying to pick at them for being blind. It's just because
you do know.
I've never had to deal with it.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now, throughout your process of going to the doctor and he telling you or she telling you that you were going blind, you did involve in the parenting hood phase in terms of you had kids and whatnot. So how was that dealing with that emotionally, and then thinking the fact that okay, I may go blind, it may be a situation that I may not be able to see my kids and things like that. Just talk to us about that.
Well, that was one thing that was difficult on me because as I knew that my sight was going out. I could visually tell it, but I did not want to let people know. As a matter of fact, one of the devastating times was when I went to the DMV. I had to renew my driver's license. And my daughter was like 19 years old at this time, just, getting out in the world. Mm. But she wasn't good at driving yet, and I wasn't about to ride with her. Mm. So I had took the eye exam at the DMV, and the lady failed me because I could not pass the eye exam. Mm. And I sat there and broke down in tears and begged her because here it was, I was living here on my own with 2 children. What was I going to do if I need to get them to the doctor? Wow. So I begged this lady to give my driver's license. Well, she ended up passing me, and she told me, she said, but honey, the next time you come, we're not going to be able to give it to you. That was like 7 years ago. Mm. And ever since, I've been getting it through the mail, the paper where you renew it in the mail. So I've been sending it in instead of having to go. But just the thought of not seeing my children scares me, not knowing, how to survive in general scares me.
Right. That's true. Okay.
Especially because right now, I'm basically helping my daughter raise, my grandchild. But I'm finding now that, helping train her is helping me because now I don't have to ask, hey, grab Nana's hand and take me to the car. She knows. And I find that the younger kids adapt easier than adult children.
And before you go further, I want to say that one of my friends just in reference to questions, he stated that the only questions that are dumb are the ones that are not asked. So and that's what we had talked about yesterday. That if you don't know, you don't know. No questions are considered to be dumb and whatnot. And then talking about how kids understand, like, because my little boy, he's finally realizing, and I'm not trying to turn this to me, is that I am visually impaired. So they definitely do know, for some reason they do know. So with that being said, while you were doing what you were doing and coping with losing your sight, you still were able to adjust and was able to understand that you do have to become a parent and do what you have to do. So that was one start in terms of you actually moving forward with your loss of vision. Continue the story because it's very interesting. Go ahead.
Yeah, because you have to continue to motivate yourself, and that's what I realized. And when my mindset finally changed is when I entered the blind groups. Mm. The first time I entered a blind group, which was the Blind Lounge, and when I entered that group, here it was, I was seeing all these blind people being normal. Mm. Laughing, cutting up, joking, doing all kind of things, from working to, being able to live on their own, just the simplest things. Mm. And it really motivated me to, be better and to put, wipe the tears away, get up, start living again.
Really?
And that's what I did.
So you had now do you have any
Youth
um,
Road.
aspirations of going to like different, maybe the Center for the Blind or some other Arkansas Enterprise for the Blind, something like that to get
Yes, I
into?
have been. Yes, I have been since I was told before my first eye surgery happened. When I was told how bad it was, I mean, the doctors literally printed me out a picture to show me what was left, and I mean, we're talking like teeny tiny little bit of sight in the center of both eyes.
Wow.
It opened my eyes to realize, in order for me to be able to live independently like I want to, I have to do something and help myself now. So I started on the research trying to find something to help me out. And to be honest with you, I'm not finding a whole lot of nothing here in Louisiana. So I have ran across somebody in one of the groups actually that put up a thing about a convention coming up in August. It's called the MOCA convention. And I contacted them, told them my situation, and have set up that is going to be my jump start, to go there to get the information I need, hopefully get a little bit of, training just to hold a cane right or something.
Okay.
But mainly to help get me set up where I need to be.
Okay.
Because
Well,
I just don't know even where to get started at this point. I mean,
well, this is what I'm gonna do. One of my friends just said that he would like to encourage George, and that's a very good friend of mine. I've been knowing him since school. He lives in Texas, but he's very aware of all the different places and what have you that he can go. I'm gonna get his email and I'm gonna send it to you. But he said he definitely would like to encourage you to read Braille and whatnot, because that's I know a lot of things are changing to technology, but Braille is very essential and whatnot. And go ahead.
The blind man that I had reconnected with, he actually just mailed me some like magnet Braille letters and told me to start learning them. And another little plastic thing you put down, because signing your name, people say, oh, well, sign your name here. Well, I can't see the line. What do you want me to do? So I'm learning all these new things I'm learning, maybe not new to y'all, but it's all new to me.
Right.
That they have things like that makes my life easier.
Well, I encourage you wholeheartedly to take advantage of any technology. Also, on this channel, there's some technology, technological, or people who've done interviews and what you definitely can take advantage of those as well. But we were talking yesterday off air. I like saying that. I feel like I'm big time. That you were more so like helping. You like before you lost your sight, you like helping others, and it was a big. It was a big
that was a
wake-up
big
call.
part of my life. I've always been the person to help others. I mean, from when the hurricane hit, I'm the person at the shelter helping other people. Me and my mom actually was running a soup kitchen out of her house where we bring food to the elderly and stuff like that, giving rides to people that didn't have rides. I mean, so many different things like that. To the point if somebody just needed their yard raked, they knew to call me. I'd go help. And now it's to the point where, I can't do a lot of those things, but I'm now the person in need of help. And it's very difficult for me. My biggest problem with, my sight going out is the fact that I've always been the person to help others. I never had to ask somebody to help me. I always figured it out on my own. And it's difficult for me to ask somebody to take me to the store. I'll just do it out.
Right.
And I'm learning that I'm having to do those, because here where I live, we don't have Lyft, we don't have Uber, we don't have taxis, we don't have all that transportation that's convenient in the city. So, in order for me to get what I need, I have to speak up and ask.
That's in life, and that's definitely true, especially it's just people who are visually impaired. So because what's the old saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. So I understand that's hard, because it's easy for me, because like I say, I lost my sight a long time ago, but for people who newly lost their sight, I really do understand that it's a big difference. And sometimes if you were independent beforehand, just know this, that my friend, he's very independent, I'm telling you. So being blind, that doesn't stop your independence. The only person to stop you is you. I just wanted to ask you, this might be a crazy question. The fact that you are losing your sight and little by little, do you feel like sorry for yourself? Or are you down, or are you over with the crying and now it's
Oh,
time?
I'm done with the crying. I mean, that lasted for 3 weeks. I've never been the kind, kick me down and I stay down. I've always been, an outspoken, outgoing person. And, I had my little pity party. But as far as now, no, I don't have any more, crying over my sight. My thing is now I want to do something. I want to continue to live. Even at 46 years old, yes, it's difficult thinking my sight is going out now, but just meeting and connecting with others makes me realize that, maybe right now there's a different plan for me. Maybe there's a reason why this is happening now.
Yep, that's true.
And, I hope to be able to, one day be able to come back and share my story where, I'm productive in somebody else's life.
That's what I'm talking. I like that.
People don't realize, coming on these live shows and, sharing their stuff in the groups and whatnot, how, a person in the background that might not be speaking up is actually taking in a lot of what they're doing and saying.
It's real talk, Tracey. You know what, Tracey? I love your confidence. I can just like hear. I can hear it in your voice that you're not down. You don't feel sorry. That's why I was asking and whatnot. I really do love your confidence. I'm glad I had the chance to meet you in this particular group, because the group that I'm in, it seems like there's a lot of positive individuals who are blind, and they just blind. That's it. But they're doing things. They're upbeat, and that's you're the second one.
That's kind of why I had to pull away. I have been in a group or two where it's a lot of sad stuff.
Yep.
And I have to be honest. I can't be around that right now. I have more focus and I need positive. I don't need to be wham because I ain't got a driver's license now. I don't need to be, laying on a bed crying because, I can't do something. I need those people to motivate me that I can do.
Right.
And that's, when John came to me, a friend of mine, John, came to me, wanting to open a new group, pretty much an upbeat group, happy, jolly, I jumped on it,
That's right.
And me and him did establish it with a couple other people to be able to give, a positive outlook, to laugh, because the best thing a person could do is, smile, to laugh and be around people that are happy, because the only way you're going to get up is to be around those people, not the people that's sitting on the corner whining.
Girl, I need you in my life, man. I love that, man, for real. And I'm glad that I've had the opportunity to bring you on. See, so I'm talking about, y'all. I mean, if y'all need to subscribe, definitely. I'm on Periscope, but definitely people on Periscope, I urge you to go and subscribe to the show so that you can, because I'm not gonna always keep posting, because when I do that, then there's no need for me to have a YouTube channel, because I'm trying to build my YouTube. But definitely, y'all subscribe to it so that y'all can get great, inspiring stories like this, and to know that, okay, that is true. There are some blind people, there's some visually impaired people who do feel, oh, woe is me, but I'm not the one, and I see that you're not the one, and George is not the one, people that I come in contact with. So hey, I want to thank you for coming on this show. If you have any last words, you're welcome to do it. And also, if you want to come back at any point in time, you're welcome to do so. I know I'm talking fast because I gotta but yeah, go on. This is your show, so go ahead on, say what you have to say, and then we'll conclude.
I just want to say thank you for everybody out there who has lent a hand and helped me along this journey. I mean, if it weren't for y'all, I probably would be still down in my bed. And it means a lot to people like me that are sighted and losing vision, to know that there's people out there like y'all who do care and who are willing to lend that hand. Because, without y'all, we could never, ever really know truly how it is and what we're facing.
Okay.
Say thank you.
All right, that's coming from a great Southern belle. Before I leave, a lady by the name of Hello Kitty said that even though you lose your sight, you're still beautiful. So
thank you.
I may have rephrased, but anyway, that's a Southern belle for y'all from down south. I've created a new friend, and I'm glad that I've had the opportunity. Anytime you want to come back to anytime you want to come on and talk about anything, you are welcome to do so. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You won't have anything else, because I keep interrupting you. I'm bad.
No, you ain't interrupting me. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Y'all be cool, and thanks for for tuning in, man. This is one of the best lives that I've done in a while. Sorry I hadn't been posted because I've been under the weather. Oh, and I did a thing with Braille cards, and that's for you too. If anybody's interested in getting one from Braille cards by Amber, I have about 5 of them. I'll send them to y'all so y'all can check it out. So go check out the video that I had done with Amber. She does Braille cards. You too, Tracey. If you
Yeah, I'm gonna have to learn that first.
Okay,
I know
well,
it's got dots on it.
okay, yeah, look at you. I know not a typical sighted person. I know it got dots on it.
I can
No.
feel it. Learning to use my hands more than my eyes.
Oh yeah. Oh, definitely. But yeah, I'm gonna say, if y'all want one, anybody want one of those, let me know. And also, y'all go check out that rap that I did in reference to the George Floyd situation. I'm not about to jump on that thing because that's another subject. But I'm glad to have you on here, Tracey, for the 3rd time.
Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
All right, then. Anytime. All right.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.